Welcome along to tonight's Clásico Copa del Rey final. A truly special occasion in Seville. It is the 260th meeting of Barcelona and Real Madrid, arguably the biggest fixture in the club game. And the two sides meet trying to win that trophy. Well, good evening. This is the recently renovated Estadio La Cartuja, a venue that has hosted a run of finals in what is effectively the Spanish Cup, but none of them with the scrutiny and interest and intrigue of this. Teams first and second respectively in La Liga, the most fierce of rivals. As you can see as well, a cast of stars that few fixtures can offer. Bellingham, Vinicius, Rodrigo start for Real Madrid, LAMINE, YAMAL, RAPHINHIA, Pedri for Barca. We'll get to the full team news shortly, with Kylian Mbappe only fit enough for the bench. Plus the extraordinary drama that unfolded last night centred around tonight's match referee. We're going to get to all of that. But first, alongside me, Rob Daly, tonight on Premier Sports is Terry Gibson. Terry, a first Clásico Cup final since 2014.
Yep, it's always a spectacular game between these two teams. It's a spectacle. And what we've seen in the stadium before the game as well, they've certainly pulled all the stops out. It's a magnificent game of football. It's watched throughout the world. People want to see these teams play. People want to see these players play. And at the moment, two teams in very different positions, but I am eagerly anticipating an exciting affair.
A reminder from the 26,000 Barcelona supporters that Barca are the most successful team in this competition's history. And let's see if Madrid deliver, as that message so does down at their end, that they will keep fighting until the end. The teams step out tonight for El Clásico. Two teams still fighting it out for La Liga, but their immediate focus on tonight's Copa del Rey final. And who knows the potential ramifications for the winner and loser of this in Seville beyond tonight. But right now, Barcelona still want their treble. Real Madrid want their double. And Barca tonight, Terry, the favourites for the game.
Well, they're going through a fantastic run of form. It's 12 wins and a draw in the last 13 La Liga games. Safe passage to the semi-final of the Champions League. And they go into this fixture tonight knowing they've beaten Real Madrid away from home 4-0 in La Liga. In the Spanish Super Cup, there's a 5-2 victory for Barcelona. So everything in the garden is rosy for Barcelona, but I promise you, don't underestimate a wounded Real Madrid. Write them off at your peril. Difficult tonight with no Mbappe, that makes life tougher for them. But we always expect something spectacular when Real Madrid are wounded and they're in trouble. And Ancelotti's team, more than not, often do fight back.
Well, these are the scenes in Seville as Hansi Flick and Carlo Ancelotti denied the chance to meet up yesterday as part of their media obligations because of Real Madrid not committing to them. But they do embrace tonight. Hansi Flick looks to become the first Barcelona coach to win his first 3 Clásicos, but first, the national anthem. These teams will do battle again in just 15 days' time. Royal attendance too, of course, for the Copa del Rey final. But as Terry mentioned, the 2 encounters already this season, 4-0, 5-2 in Barcelona's favour. And given Real Madrid's recent results and their elimination to the hands of Arsenal in the Champions League, this is big for them tonight, especially to try and stop LAMINE YAMAL out there.
Yeah, they're backed into a corner. They will be fighting and scrapping. I expect it to be a tempestuous affair. It's going to be full-blooded, but Barcelona will want to try and impose themselves on Real Madrid. Real Madrid probably playing on the counter-attack. It's going to be interesting to see where Jude Bellingham does play. He can play between the two front players. He can play wide left in the midfield four. Be interesting to see what Ancelotti has gone with. But for Barcelona, tried and trusted, it's the same setup. If Lewandowski was fit, he would be playing, and that would probably be their strongest 11 if Alejandro Balde was available at left back as well.
Top of La Liga by 4 points. Real Madrid in second. And these are the teams tonight. Wojciech Szczesny does start, despite the fact Barca trailed on social media. It might be Ter Stegen. He's back on the bench after injury. Gerard Martin gets the nod at left back with Balde out. The midfield's no surprise. And we expected his front line in truth with Robert Lewandowski out. Ferran Torres will lead the line instead. Well, yesterday's pre-final drama was quite something. Match referee Ricardo de Burgos Bengoechea breaking into tears during his pre-final press conference about the criticism aimed at him by Real Madrid TV. There was talk of Real Madrid wanting a different referee, potentially boycotting the final, since they've denied that. But there's no doubt that the referees tonight, as a result, a lot of pressure on them here, Terry.
Yep, and this is totally wrong what Real Madrid do. They do it on a regular basis, but because of this game, of course, it's very high profile.
Mendy comes back in for Real Madrid for the first time after 6 weeks out with a hamstring injury. It's packed full of central midfielders. We see if that can stop Barcelona playing. And with Mbappe, due to his ankle issue, only on the bench, it's the front two of Rodrigo and Vinicius Junior.
Yep, and as I say, Robert, it's going to be interesting to see how exactly they line up. Is it going to be different tactics from Real Madrid at the start of the game? They're a little bit more conservative. They don't want Barcelona to get off to a flyer. I expect Barcelona to dominate possession. Real Madrid to play on the counter-attack. They'll be hoping Real Madrid they don't concede in the early stages of the game and find a footing, find a foothold, find a way to try and compete with Barcelona, because they haven't been able to do that so far in the 2 games this season.
You are looking at the recently renovated Estadio La Cartuja in Seville. Upgrades completed just in time for the final. There was talk it wouldn't be ready for the final, but it is. The athletics track is gone. You can see the additional seating now. 15,000 extra seats, all under cover.
There wasn't any grass in the stadium, so it'd be interesting to see. Hopefully that holds up well and doesn't contribute to any mistakes or whatever, or injuries during this match.
Well, you may have spent your entire Saturday watching football already, but what a way to finish. A Clásico with a cup at the end of it. Barcelona versus Real Madrid for the 2025 Copa del Rey. 31 and 20 titles respectively.
But they've certainly waited all day in Spain, haven't they? It's 10 o'clock local time, kick-off. If we do have extra time, we'll be playing on Sunday. But it is warm in Sevilla, even at this stage of the year, relatively early in the late spring, early summer. It is warm, hence the reason it has been played, kicking off at 10 o'clock at night.
We've seen videos of the fans on social media, and some of them looking a bit worse for wear by the end of the day.
All day. They've been celebrating, eagerly anticipating the game, and hopefully they've all made it. No one's fallen asleep and knocked off.
Early out ball here for RAPHINHIA, who kicked into life for the first time, and he was too eager to move that on to Ferran Torres. And here's Jude Bellingham on the ball for the first time, peeling out to the left side.
This is how Barcelona play. We haven't seen too much of them this season. They press really high up the pitch. They have a high defensive line. They move to catch teams offside. They caught Real Madrid offside and so many times in the game that they won 4-0 in La Liga. So Real Madrid will adjust. They'll try and break down and beat this offside trap. But it's intense, it's fast and furious, and they will try and play everything in the attacking half of the pitch.
Shifted out by Pedri to Gerard Martin. Ferran Torres, great touches, and he's got away from his defender, and a combination of Tchouaméni and Rudiger deals with that.
Just about. There we see the first breakthrough from Barcelona, which will concern Real Madrid. This was all far too easy. Real Asensio makes a risky challenge. Ferran Torres skips over it. I thought he was going to shoot. Didn't fancy his chances of beating Courtois at the near post, and it almost did fall into the path of 2 of his teammates attacking the 6-yard box.
First Barcelona corner, and Dani Olmo stands over it. Good ball, and Jules Kounde had got free of his marker.
He's one of those cheeky players, Jules Kounde. When you're marking players from Barcelona, there'll be bigger players to mark, and he falls into that category of maybe Real Madrid's third or fourth tallest player, marking him, and he's really, really good in the air. He's not the tallest of the players, but he has a real good leap, so I'm surprised that he was left relatively unopposed there. And a sharp start from Barcelona, which I expected.
Pumps it upfield, and it looked like Real Madrid had lost it. They have now. Is Inigo Martinez in a stellar season for Barcelona at centre-back. Pedri. Into Raphinhia works it with Ferran Torres, and they're around Real Madrid again. Gerard Martin, a bit more composure, they could have made something of that.
Yep, they're attacking down the left flank, aren't they, which isn't a surprise. Most teams that play Real Madrid with Lucas Vázquez at right back do attack down the left flank. So you haven't seen too much of LAMINE YAMAL. It's been the fullbacks and Gerard Martin on that occasion breaking forward into the left wing position. Raphinhia tucking across into a more central role. Interesting looking at Real Madrid's lineup. It's almost like a 4-1-4-1 with Vinicius up front on his own, Rodrigo playing out on the right side, and Dani Ceballos playing on the left side of the floor, Bellingham alongside Fede Valverde in central midfield. I must admit that's not something I've seen Ancelotti and Real Madrid do this season.
He's certainly been playing the formation, isn't he, recently, admitting that he hasn't been able to find the right balance to the group yet this season.
You can see Tchouaméni was sitting deeper than the other midfield four. There's lots of bodies back in position. They can't be passive, they have to go and close down the Barcelona players. It's not just enough to get bodies back behind the ball. You can see there Dani Carvajal, Camavinga, Eder Militao, and missing this game through injury, two of those long-term injuries. And I think Camavinga is going to be out for the rest of the season.
A groin issue picked up against Getafe in the week, as they believe anyway ended his season. Still the Club World Cup to come, we'll see if he returns with that, of course. Vinicius. Remember that one, the first offside of the game, Terry?
Offside number one. Astonishingly, Barcelona have had 30 goals against them this season that have been disallowed for offside, over 30 goals. And it's what they do. It's risky. It does fall apart sometimes. A couple of weeks ago, last weekend against Celta Vigo, conceded 3 goals, were 3-1 down with 10 minutes to go. Did win 4-3, but it was one of those untidy displays. Alejandro Balde not playing. It does mean it's a slight change in the back four, and can Gerard Martin being queued with the rest of his teammates in that defensive line in terms of playing that offside trap.
Rodrigo makes the interception, and this is the injured group for Barcelona who have still travelled with the team, including Balde and Robert Lewandowski, who it would appear, reports suggest, will miss the 2 legs of their Champions League semi-final. Pedri. Shifted back to Frenkie de Jong. His third captain wears the armband tonight with Ter Stegen and Araujo on the bench. Kounde trying to get forward, it drops to Bellingham. He's lost it to de Jong. And Valverde will move it on for Real Madrid.
See the closing down. It's so positive in Barcelona. As soon as the one player loses the ball, they hunt impacts. They don't think about the passing behind. They just go directly ahead of them. They're backed up by teammates. Hansi Flick has almost worked miracles this season, getting the team to completely change the dynamic and style of play than what they had under Xavi.
Kylian Mbappe in the shadows there. And we kind of expected him to not start. He was injured in the week, but the reports broke a few hours ago in the Spanish media that he was unlikely to start the game. And then YAMAL gives it to Rudiger. So Bios is caught and he'll be relieved at that.
I think the referee probably does just get it right, and I'm looking at the response of Dani Olmo, who probably thinks it's a close one. He just clipped there, Dani Ceballos. Again, another example of how Barcelona play. Real Madrid struggling to get out. This is Fermin Lopez, who's been out for 6 weeks. Was a real doubt for this game. A little bit of a surprise that he started. The ball's barely been out on that side of the pitch. It's been down the left. We haven't seen LAMINE YAMAL involved in the game as yet, so I'm assuming it's going to be Fran Garcia, the player we see there, but he has been using David Alaba in recent weeks, but he came off injured in midweek against Getafe, so this is a big problem. Saying that, I think Fran Garcia is a really good left back, so they do have a suitable player. It's a like-for-like change, but this probably does mean that we're not going to see too much of Fermin Lopez for the rest of the season for Real Madrid.
Yeah, we just saw a moment ago Davide Ancelotti, Carlo Ancelotti's son and assistant, shout Fran back at the dugout as Rudiger immediately said sub, and Vinicius Jr. If it wasn't clear, I think
that's helpful.
Yeah,
Vinicius telling us. I think we pretty much knew that was going to be the case.
Real Madrid took the risk with Mundi starting. Why would Carlo Ancelotti have been so keen to get him back in the 11 tonight?
It does puzzle me. I think the only case I can make is that Ancelotti is renowned for playing the senior players whenever he possibly can. I'm not going to be critical of it because it's served him well over the years. And you go back to Casemiro and Modric and Toni Kroos in midfield. He trusted them, Ronaldo, Benzema, people like that. So he does tend to favour playing the more experienced players. And Fermin Lopez is older, has more experience than Fran Garcia. This is where he makes the challenge there on Jules Kounde. It's a good challenge. In making that challenge, it's finished his appearance tonight before we met the 10-minute mark.
So off goes the Frenchman, his first appearance since mid-March. That 1-0 defeat to Atletico that, of course, Real Madrid eventually prevailed in overall in the tie in the Champions League.
This will be a massive opportunity for Fran Garcia because I do believe the left-back position is going to be up for grabs in the summer. I don't think that they'll settle for Fermin Lopez and maybe not Fran Garcia. I think there'll be changes in that position. But if Fran Garcia, this will be the first real big game of his career at Real Madrid. And there's plenty of time in this match for him to make an impression, and that he has to because he's playing against LAMINE YAMAL. But I think he can be trusted.
He's immediately on the ball here for Real Madrid and...
Let me down.
Yeah, you might have jinxed him there. Dani Olmo trying to weave through Rudiger. And there's Asensio to cover off. So up to the pace of the end quickly here, Fran Garcia.
I'm not going to make excuses for him, but that's a really delicate, awkward time to come on, isn't it? Because you've done the warm-up before the game. I don't believe any of the substitutes have been warming up since the kick-off. So then you've got to suddenly burst into action and pick up the speed. And look how quickly Barcelona close down the defenders. Don't get any time to breathe, no time on the ball, no time to look up and find a pass. He's been thrown in at the deep end, I have to be honest. He had no choice.
Vinicius does find Bellingham. It's on to Vasquez. Modric struggling to work this over the halfway line.
Yeah. But when they do, there will be a threat. So I think that is going to be key for them to be patient.
Hansi Flick loved that from Gerard Martin. It's his first Classico this evening. De Jong, Lamine Yamal looking to run at Ferran Garcia for the first time and gets joy. Rudiger covers. And then Garcia covers him.
That's what I mean about being thrown into the thick of the action, and suddenly Lamine Yamal, no one helping him out down that left flank. It's going to be Dani Ceballos ahead of him. You ain't going to get too much help defensively from Dani Ceballos. Rudiger did come across on the cover and rescue the situation. It's the first moment of spark that we've seen from Lamine Yamal.
Can't miss him with the new blonde haircut too.
Risky that, isn't
Yeah.
it? Cup final, behind your hair.
Up
Got
by
back it
Velvet.
up.
Yeah. He's scored in both Classicos this season. He'll back himself, and he certainly has on social media over the past few days to have an impact tonight for Barcelona. Kounde. Ceballos steps in on Dani Olmo, retrieved by Frenkie de Jong, moved on by Kounde. Pedri floats in field, exchanges with RAPHINHIA. Foul, but it just feels like Barcelona all over them at the moment.
Yeah, I actually didn't think that was a foul.
Another huge cheer as Gerard Martin wins another tackle.
I mean, Real Madrid and Ancelotti won't be enjoying this, but they won't be too upset about it. At the moment, Barcelona, I know we're only approaching the 15-minute mark, no real clear-cut chances. Real Madrid have suffered their player going off injured. This is not normal for Real Madrid to be starved of the ball and not get across the halfway line, but I think players and Ancelotti be looking and still thinking it's still 0-0.
RAPHINHIA goes early with his ball, and Lamine Yamal wasn't there to meet it. Away by Ferran Garcia, retrieved by Kounde. Now Dani Olmo. Pedri clips it, and you can see the idea.
Yeah, probably Lamine Yamal should have been on the far post there. He reacted too late.
(39-year-old Luka Modric amongst the subs. Rodrigo. Vinicius. Given straight back to Dani Olmo and Barcelona. Rudiger takes him out, but Barca keep moving. RAPHINHIA, Ferran Torres in the middle, and brilliant recovery work. Asensio was back there, and a let-off for Real Madrid.
And surprise, surprise, Fede Valverde was there as well. Real Madrid were toying with the ball in the attacking third of the pitch, probably for the first time in the game. Confused as to how to beat that offside trap. They didn't, and then before you know it, Barcelona raiding again. Half-hearted appeal there from Ferran Torres for a foul by Fede Valverde. Good refereeing as well. Rudiger just run across and tried to take the player out, tried to put an end to that attack and take the yellow card. That's why the appeal is for the handball against Fede Valverde. I can't see what else he can do with his arm now. He's probably got it behind his body anyway.
They'll never give it for the supporting arm, will they, when a player's going to ground? De Jong. Pedri.
Interesting to see what the players are making of the pitch, because in my opinion, I'm watching it, it's slow. The passing is, you can see the ball is not fizzing across the pitch. It's slow, the players are having to strike the ball a touch firmer than they would normally like.
Martinez stepping forward from centre-back here for Barcelona. Only one loss in 27 matches for Barca at the moment, and that was that 3-1 second leg defeat to Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League, having beaten them 4-0 at home. Since the turn of the year, they've just been on a tear in all three competitions.
And it's a big surprise, I have to be honest. No one was sure how they were going to do under Hansi Flick. But the style and the identification that you see from Barcelona now is astonishing.
LAMINE YAMAL drives! And he nearly found the corner. Courtois was rooted to the ground.
Yes, an interesting adaptation here of Thibaut Courtois, because he doesn't make much attempt for it. He probably feels it's drifting harmlessly wide, but it does curl towards that far post, and a bit too close for comfort for Thibaut Courtois.
14 goals this season for LAMINE YAMAL, even more assists.
And in general, 152 goals scored from Barcelona this season, and this is game 53. 3 goals a game, even with my maths, I know it's around that mark. And it's, as you say, it's just been an incredible transformation this season.
Top scorers in La Liga, unsurprisingly as a result of that number, 89 goals compared to Real Madrid's 66.
Top scorers in the Champions League as well.
Lucas Vázquez has had a couple of goes at RAPHINHIA now, and this one has resulted in a free kick.
Both fullbacks, they have no choice but to go tight. There's an awful lot wrong there. I think there's been a couple of other challenges that have been heavier.
26,000 of them in attendance today, Barcelona supporters.
Look at it, the protagonist in the penalty box, Inigo Martinez, has been amongst the goals this year. Kubasi will be a threat. You can see them in discussion at the far post. We can have a look to see who is marking Kounde. It's Raul Asensio, the youngster, who's bigger than Jules Kounde, significantly bigger, but Kounde does well to get across the defender. Asensio is going to have to be sharper when he's marking Kounde. Get closer, be touch tight, don't let him get a run across you. His movement is good, but he's going to have to do more to try and stop him.
Barca goes short this time. Here's Pedri, swept in, but there is no runner on the end of it. Most notable moment of the match so far. Courtois, who himself only returned from injury just prior to the Champions League quarter-final defeat to Arsenal. Ancelotti venting his frustration at his players from the touchline.
Yeah, that was at Lucas Vázquez. It was a poor pass. In fairness to the defensive players of Real Madrid, the options going forward, there isn't a lot of movement. Vinicius is up front on his own.
Martinez. Martin again. He and RAPHINHIA exchange the ball. Olmo nips in front of Valverde. Rodrigo tries to skip clear. Fouled by Dani Olmo. And Thibaut Courtois had some notable finals in his Real Madrid career. Might need to be vital tonight.
By his standards, that's relatively comfortable, isn't it? Straight down the middle of the goal, reflexes were good. Ticks it over the crossbar, but he needs to be more of a leader there in defending set pieces to make sure that players are picked up. His teammates are concentrating. They're under pressure from open play. They don't want to give away a cheap goal from the set piece.
Bellingham. That's the pass, shifts it back to Vinicius. Has a runner in, Fran Garcia. Jules Kounde with a tremendous block. Tchouaméni. Dani Ceballos. Rodrigo. It's around LAMINE, but there is Inigo Martinez and now looking to get away. And the challenge. And Barcelona are asking why there isn't further punishment for that one for Dani Ceballos.
Well, I think the Barcelona players are looking at an accumulation of little fouls by the Real Madrid players rather than one particularly bad one. It's tough going when you're playing as Real Madrid are to concentrate and have that energy when you get the ball, occasionally get the opportunity to attack. But they came close on that last one. There is always the threat because they have the quality in there, but it's certainly tough for them to have any real spells of possession. But as I say, that won't bother them too much. But they need more in terms of counter-attacking play.
First Copa del Rey final between these sides since 2014. That Gareth Bale goal, he ran off the pitch around Marc Bartra to score the winner for Real Madrid. I went to find the highlights earlier of that game, and you were on commentary, Terry.
Yeah, young man then. No, that was a wonderful game. It was at the Mestalla. Ronaldo wasn't playing, he was in
Slotti shown a yellow card.
Persistent use of the raised eyebrow from Ancelotti, and the referee couldn't take any more of it. See him gesturing there to the official, he's appealing. Maybe remonstrating. And
so the first caution of the game goes to Carlo Ancelotti.
Nobody would have got that.
No.
Right.
Clearly Ricardo de Burgos Bengoechea not having any nonsense from the touchline. Pedri. Real Madrid on the counter-attack now with Vinicius, but there's LAMINE winning it back. Feels he should have a free kick here.
That's what I'm talking about. When it's all hands to the pump defensively, and you're chasing shadows, and you're closing, trying to stop Barcelona, and you're trying to man-to-man mark, and you're trying to help your teammates. When you do get the ball, you haven't got the energy to break forward and attack with that normal sharpness that Real Madrid have.
Valverde sharp into De Jong, but one back again by Barcelona. Now with the sense here for Real Madrid. Still frustrated here, Vinicius.
There's no foul there whatsoever, just dispossessed. Maybe a frustration from a player who's playing that lone attacking role, and he normally plays out wide on the left. If he plays central, it's nearer to Kylian Mbappe. He's doing that role tonight on his own, and he's not ideally suited to that, is he, Vinicius? Holding the ball up, chasing the channel, and he's been the player who's the focal point of the attack, an outball in a game like this where Barcelona are dominating possession.
Why do you think he has set them up like this, Terry, Real Madrid?
Probably I'm looking at a numerical, trying to get superiority in midfield where he thinks Barcelona are particularly strong. So we're talking about, say, the 4-1-4-1 you talked before the game, and the team. He knows it has to be a special attempt to beat Courtois, and he does exactly that. The power, the accuracy of the finish, absolutely superb from Barcelona, and in particular from the magician that is Pedri in midfield.
La Liga's Player of the Month for April, but there's still work to do this month. And Real Madrid behind here in Seville. And a ripple of applause each time that Pedri ticks along another pass.
personally, for him, it's been a massive fight back over the last season or so, because he was burst onto the scene in the European Championships in Spain. He was absolutely sensational. He then went off to the Olympics. He wasn't treated properly. A year or so with so many injuries. And there was a concern, was he going to go the same road as Ansu Fati, who had a similar start to his career, but this season he has been astonishing.
Tchouameni, by the way, just committed a foul. You wondered the referee will go back and show a card. Here's Raphinha up against Rudiger. And Dani Olmo was clattered in the middle of the pitch.
That's a major breakthrough for Barcelona, this goal, in terms of this, in the context of this match. And they've beaten Real Madrid 4-0 and 5-2 this season, scoring goals for fun. It will give them a boost and belief that they can do it again. It's a dreadful challenge from Tchouameni. I think he just about gets away with the yellow card there. But now, if you're Real Madrid and you're thinking, a player for Real Madrid, you're thinking not again. The 5-2. It's 10-2 an aggregate.
That creeps into the mind.
Exactly. And also creeps into the mind of the Barcelona players, the belief we can do this again, we can get the next goal. So Real Madrid have got to hang on in there now.
So Barcelona is sending out Fermin Lopez for the warm-up here with Dani Olmo down. Looked like that really would have hurt his ankle.
And he's a player that does suffer injuries. Has been injured frequently this season. That's the only criticism you can have of him. Did Barcelona spend the money wisely when they bought Dani Olmo for 50-60 million euros? Money they probably didn't have, if I'm being honest, but they found it and they found a way. He's been brilliant when he's played, but he has missed a lot of playing time through injury. That would be the obvious replacement. Maybe Gavi could be another alternative as well, but Hansi Flick, if he sees the way the game is going, Gavi might be a little bit more defensive than maybe putting Fermin Lopez on if Dani Olmo has to come off.
He's going to try and play on here, Dani Olmo. Vinicius Junior with a high boot. Referee says play on. What word with Pau Kubasi as he steps away. Goes all the way back to Wojciech Szczesny. Ferran Torres can't get in under his spell. Some people perhaps tuning in to see Barcelona for the first time this season, maybe Terry, tonight. I'm sure they'll be surprised at the level of difference between the two teams so far.
Yeah, and I think that's been reflected in the two games. I thought and anticipated it might be different in this game. It still might be. You know, it's just a phase of the game. We're a third of the way through. It's been all Barcelona. And if you haven't seen them, I say it's easy to see their style, their DNA, the way that Hansi Flick wants them to play. And they've been doing this all season long.
Lamine Yamal. On to Kounde. Off he goes, skipping and moving the ball. Can't quite find Dani Olmo. Lucas Vázquez read the danger. Now Ceballos. Pointing, telling Vinicius Junior to run down the line for him.
Pretty obvious, wasn't it? The intent to play Vinicius in behind and the reluctance of Vinicius to get caught offside. It's worth the risk making those runs in behind. Yes, you might get caught offside. But if someone like Vinicius does break free, get through that offside trap, not fancy him one-on-one against Szczesny. With Bellingham, that's the first time I've mentioned him.
Bellingham turns away from Pedri beautifully. He's worked it onto Fran Garcia too. Brilliant work from Bellingham. hung in towards Bellingham, who's continued his run. Dani Ceballos threads it, Bellingham finishes it! Well, he points over to the flag because he knew it was set to be ruled out. But he started that move and nearly finished it.
Exactly, the tussle between him and Pedri is one that he wants to participate in more. He's in the offside position there, and he's in the offside position when the ball is played in. He's unfortunate, he knows he should have got back out quicker once it was cleared. And he has become another culprit in terms of being caught. That's another one of those to the toes, though, over 30 goals that have been disallowed against Barcelona this season.
Pedri, the game's goal scorer, hangs it up towards Dani Olmo, dealt with by Fran Garcia. Hugo Martinez cuts it out. Both teams had dramatic semi-finals to reach the final. Barcelona had that 4-4 home draw with Atletico in the first leg, then went and won at the Metropolitano. Joe Martins forward here, slightly isolated, getting forward from left back. Help arriving now. Dani Olmo appealing right on the edge of the penalty area. Fouled by Gerard Martin on Tchouameni.
And this is where Real Madrid had to come down. They're furious here that they weren't allowed the advantage.
And there is a yellow card for the left back. Worth having another look at this here.
Yeah, and they're looking at the penalty. Tchouameni with the attempt to make. Asensio gets caught up in the collision. Gerard Martin. He withdraws his foot, but I still think it's a yellow card offence. There's no studs involved, it's not a high tackle. VAR must have checked the penalty appeal and maybe the severity of that tackle from Gerard Martin.
Ceballos, Fran Garcia. Vinicius Jr. across the face. And he couldn't find a teammate. Retrieved by Rodrigo. Valverde. Ceballos. Vinicius slips and LAMINE out. Conjures up something brilliant and tries to set away Ferran Torres. Flag stays down for now, but Rudiger's quick.
Fabulous defending from Antonio Rudiger, last-ditch defending. A little bit more of encouragement, I think, for Real Madrid in the last 5 minutes or so. More possession, they can get more players into attacking positions.
Just beyond Fran Garcia. Looked like Tchouameni was the player getting back there.
Any infringement would have been outside the penalty area anyway.
Kounde. Hung out to RAPHINHIA. RAPHINHIA cuts it back, dealt with by Valverde, and here's Bellingham. Ceballos. Alcabasi, so intelligent, 18 years of age, read that supremely well.
Honestly, it's ridiculous. I know you can have certain attributes as an 18-year-old, but you shouldn't have the intelligence and the footballing brain of a 35-year-old. And you shouldn't be able to be strong enough at 17, 18 He's been playing there for a year now. No one's out-physicaled him. He's been up to the physical task. And so intelligent. Such a bright young footballer. And nobody thought Kubasi and Inigo Martinez were going to be the mainstay of Barcelona's defence when the season kicked off. Maybe Kubasi, but him and Inigo Martinez, anti-flick, total trust in those two.
There was peripheral figure Martinez under Xavi, wasn't he, essentially, but Hansi Flick has loved playing him in this high line. Frenkie de Jong scooting towards that Real Madrid back four. Dani Olmo, can he pick a pass? Rudiger makes the block. Vasquez, Tchouameni, Bellingham with space. This is Junior against Kounde. Seen it a few times, the players slipping out there, you know.
When we get close-ups, you can see it's being ripped up a little bit, the pitch now. It's not surprising. As I say, I saw footage of this stadium 23 days ago. There was a lot of building work being done. There was no turf, no grass in the stadium.
Well, Florentino Perez has been in the headlines. The presidents generally are in Spanish football. Laporta up there too. It's part of the whole referee debacle of yesterday. Florentino Perez apparently didn't even turn up for the ceremonial dinner last night. Pedri, Dani Olmo, and bashed into by Rudiger. Free kick, Barcelona.
He pushes his luck, doesn't he, Rudiger? Robust defending, to say the least. The ball's there to be won, but that's overly aggressive and should be punished by the referee. He's got away with that one. He still feels he's been hard done by that. A free kick has gone against him.
King of Spain alongside the King of the Spanish FA up in the stands as well tonight.
You've got a cup named after you.
You've got to turn up.
Yeah, you've got to make the effort.
Well, Raphinhia and Ferran Torres are over this now for Barcelona.
It's got Raphinhia written all over it, this one, hasn't it?
Raphinhia hits into the wall, and the deflection had Courtois for a fraction of a moment concerned.
He was rooted, wasn't he? It was one of those where the goalkeeper's got no chance, but the wall does its job on this occasion. Lesson learned from recent weeks. I'd like to look at that again and see who was in the wall compared to the two goals that Declan Rice scored. Was the position in the wall any different?
Barca threatened these, particular Jules Kounde. Oh, and it's right across the face of goal and belted back goalwards by Raphinhia. It looked like that might have hit the post, in fact. And question marks about Real Madrid's defending from that.
Yeah, it's a tantalising set-piece delivery to the near post. Lots of bodies attacking it. No real obvious touch from anyone, and it evades absolutely everybody. Does anyone get a touch at the near post? I don't think they do. It goes between the legs of Rudiger. Almost curls in on its own. It would have been a direct goal from the corner. There's a touch of a rugby tackle there that actually impeded the Barcelona player getting the tap in at the far post.
I think that's why the referee stopped play. I think he wanted to give the video assistant a moment to have a look back, but nothing doing for Barcelona. Vinicius. Jules Kounde, a bit unsure about what to do, concedes the corner.
Yeah, he actually looked as if he'd won that little tussle. Here we see it's Ceballos against Pau Kubasi. They're wrestling at the far post. I mean, I don't know where the line is now between tussling, pulling, rugby tackling someone, and that looks a foul to me.
Well, think of the penalty given against Real Madrid in the Arsenal game.
Exactly.
Bernabeu with Asensio. Headed up by RAPHINHIA, superb defending at the near post, and Rodrigo has the throw in. We have a bit of added time at the end of the first half after that prolonged delay around Fermin Lopez getting an injury. Kylian Mbappe, one imagines he's desperate to get out there. Wasn't even in the matchday squad in the week with that ankle problem. 5 additional minutes. YAMAL is down holding his face, and Dani Ceballos, the smile to suggest he feels he won't get in any further trouble for this.
There's a debate on who the throw should have gone to. The referee going to talk to both of the players. It is Barcelona's throw. I have to be honest, I haven't seen... There's a slap on the mouth, isn't there, from Dani Ceballos? The arms are flailing from both players.
Kounde.
Can't do that to a child.
That's true, actually. That's a good point. He appears okay, LAMINE now, though. He looks like he's all right out there. Vinicius Jr., is he off? Flag stays down, the touch is poor anyway. And he smacks into Szczesny. Oh, penalty! Oh, but the flag's up. Well, the referee had given that as a foul, it would appear. So let's wait and see if the offside will stand against Vinicius Jr.
I thought he was offside immediately. I can't begin to tell you what the penalty, how that comes about. From the angle it's closed, but I think he's leaning into an offside position. Barcelona get back. It's a heavy touch from Vinicius. I'm struggling to see where a foul is there. It's all 3 players piling in to get the loose ball. And it is a loose ball. There was no trip on Vinicius, there was no kick on Vinicius. It was a hell of a collision between the 3 of them. I think Szczesny was going to be the worst of the 3, to be honest, who come off worst. Ultimately, it was another offside for Real Madrid.
The assistant spared the need to make a big decision about whether to advise the referee to go to the monitor. Handball by Valverde.
You've got to look and think how Real Madrid are going to get back in this game. We've got lots of opportunities. Fede Valverde with a rocket from 35 yards might be one option. Bellingham breaking into the box. Vinicius coming up with a bit of magic. Kylian Mbappe coming off the bench. Maybe, well, definitely Ancelotti would like to see more from Rodrigo.
Chance to whip the ball in here. It's another foul on Dani Olmo. Referee willing to chat to the captain, Frenkie de Jong, here, but he doesn't want to hear anything else from Barcelona's other players who feel that Real Madrid should have more yellow cards to their name.
That's a yellow card offence all day long. And it's not for the first time that the offence has been on Dani Olmo. The offside trap works again for Barcelona, and they're willing to take that risk when it is so close. Vinicius has to work harder to stay onside. But he's a player that plays wide, so it's a different role for him tonight, playing with back to goal, playing with defenders, pushing up, trying to catch him offside as opposed to seeing the bigger picture from the wing.
And headed behind by Vasquez. So with just a minute of the added time to play, Barcelona have another corner. And remember, Dani Olmo hit the post with his last one.
They're the 2 at the near post, tasked with that job of flicking the ball on.
It is flicked on. Kounde can't get to it. It's hooked away by Rodrigo, and RAPHINHIA, for some reason, went for that.
He's been that good this season. I don't blame him.
And there's Kounde back defending. There's a real work rate about this Barcelona team right now. No foul. Referee tells Jude Bellingham to get up. De Jong. Lamine Yamal. And there is the half-time whistle, a half that Barcelona have dominated. The Real Madrid players heading straight over to the referee, but the standout moment, this young man strike, Pedri, sweeping the ball into the top corner as the game approached its half hour. Real Madrid have had the ball in there, a disallowed goal for offside, but in truth, they've been second best out there. Barcelona could have had more. Dani Olmo hit the post for the corner. But it was some strike to open up this Copa del Rey final. Can Real Madrid turn this around into the second half? That's the big question in Seville at half-time. And will they turn to Kylian Mbappe? How fit is he? Will he come on? At the break, it is Barcelona 1, Real Madrid 0. You join us back in Seville at the Copa del Rey final, where Real Madrid have been trying to warm up Kylian Mbappe with their team trailing 1-0 to Barcelona. In a game that the Blaugrana have completely bossed to this point. Wasn't the most vigorous of warm-ups for Kylian Mbappe there, Terry Gibson?
No, I have to be honest, he was gingerly just kicking the ball, side-footing it back to one of the Real Madrid coaching staff. It's all or nothing now, though, for Real Madrid. And I think that Kylian Mbappe, it'd be interesting to see who he comes on for to replace in the half-time break. My guess it might be Dani Ceballos. I think you're keeping on Tchouameni, Valverde, Bellingham, or it might be Rodrigo.
A lot of the talk before the game was that if Mbappe was fit, Rodrigo would not play, wasn't it? So we'll see what Carlo Ancelotti's planning here. So far, Hansi Flick will be delighted. Perhaps just will feel his team maybe could have created more, scored more out there in that first half.
Yep, I think that would be the one disappointment, but overall their form was excellent. I would be surprised if it's not Vinicius out the left and Mbappe out the middle, Rodrigo on the right when you're trailing 1-0 in the Copa del Rey final against Barcelona. Dani Ceballos didn't look particularly comfortable playing out on the left side. Vinicius doesn't look comfortable playing as the lone centre forward. Needs a drastic change from Ancelotti.
So Mbappe's certainly coming on here. Remember, he also recently served his suspension for that horrid challenge on Antonio Blanco in the Alaves game. But only a one-game ban.
That's incredible. Honestly, the referee's report was the deciding factor. The referee on the day didn't even give a free kick, didn't give a yellow card. And he was adjudged to say it was the intention was to play the ball. It was a non-violent tackle. It clearly wasn't. Either it was a violent tackle, no intention to play the ball. But he's back. He's back in this match. He's going to appear, and he's a sub for Real Madrid in the second half. It strengthens clearly their attacking options. Truly brilliant footballer, and he has been, in my opinion, fantastic this season for Real Madrid. So just a 1-goal deficit after being totally outplayed in the first half. Kylian Mbappe coming on. Real Madrid do have a chance.
A look and a smile at the camera from Lamine Yamal. And a little look over his shoulder at the sight of Real Madrid's number 9 emerging. So wait and see which of the 11 does not emerge here. What can Real Madrid do better? They had 36% of the ball in that first half and 1 shot compared to Barcelona's 9.
Yep, the percentage of possession they won't be too bothered about that. But they didn't carry a threat on the counter-attack, and when they're at their best, they're exhilarating on the counter-attack. They can be lethal on the counter-attack, and this player adds to that. With his pace, the question of beating the offside trap, getting a little bit more time on the ball, hoping the Barcelona performance slows down a touch in the second half. It doesn't normally, but they have put a lot of effort into the first half tonight, Barcelona. Can they keep it up for the 90 minutes?
33 goals for Mbappe this season, as many as Cristiano Ronaldo had in his debut campaign for Real Madrid too. Carlo Ancelotti booked in the first half, such were his frustrations. But Vinicius Jr., who's been tasked with playing up front, might be able to be accommodated in a more familiar position, having failed to really impact the game. And you were spot on, Terry. It is Rodrigo who makes way for Kylian Mbappe, who enters this Clasico Cup final.
Yeah, I'm slightly surprised at that. I think the adventurous change would have been to keep those three up front. Vinicius on the left, Rodrigo on the right, and Mbappe down the middle. Rodrigo hasn't been in good form though in terms of scoring goals, and he was on the periphery of the entire first 45 minutes in this match.
He was Real Madrid's hero in the previous Copa del Rey final success in 2023. Here against Osasuna, he scored both goals, Rodrigo. But Pedri, the goal scorer, with a lovely turn, and further reinforcing the view that he's one of the best around. Ferran Torres does collect. No free kick given against Tchouameni. He's on a yellow, let's not forget. RAPHINHIA in towards Dani Olmo. Lamine Yamal. And he tests Courtois for the first time.
Skips inside, doesn't he? Very predictable, Yamal, but impossible to stop. It's another player used to be like that for Barcelona as well. Can't think of his name.
Escapes me now. Escapes me now.
Yeah,
yeah, pretty handy.
Scored about 1,000 goals.
Away by Fran Garcia into open field. Here's Frenkie de Jong. Out to RAPHINHIA, who certainly was popping up in plenty of central areas in that first half.
Yeah, I think he does do that, but he a little bit more in this game than he normally does. I mean, you don't score 30 goals and make as many goals as he has by playing, hugging the touchline in the same way that Lamine Yamal does on the right flank. Maybe he feels with Lewandowski not playing tonight, he could lend a hand to Ferran Torres in the central attacking role.
Pedri floats and collects from Lamine Yamal. Barcelona games this season have averaged 4 goals a match. Most of any club in Europe's top 5 leagues. RAPHINHIA belts it into the arms of Courtois, who holds well.
He certainly pinged that one, didn't he? Relatively short backlift. No trouble for Thibaut Courtois. Pretty central again.
Towards Mbappe for the first time. Like a foul by Bellingham, and it is. Certainly seemed to have his arms on Dani Olmo there.
I think it's a clear foul, and Real Madrid are doing far too much complaining when it comes to the referee. You saw them at half-time with their protests. I think they got away lightly in the first half. Some of the challenges that weren't
cautioned.
Yeah.
Good running and a shot as Pedri looks for another spectacular goal from distance.
A real major change in the performance of Real Madrid at the start of the second half. We're only up to the 4-minute mark, but again it's normal service resumed with Barcelona dominating possession and able to do it in a slower manner with more controlled possession from Barcelona in the second half. Frenkie de Jong running the show in midfield.
Courtois had 3 options to go short in his penalty area, but they didn't like the whole situation. It goes long. Here's Bellingham. Oh, brilliant from Bellingham. Plays in Vinicius Jr. Vinicius! Szczesny with a save, and again. I think that was creeping inside his near post.
Well, the first legitimate saves of the game from Barcelona's player. recently retired Polish goalkeeper Szczesny. Bellingham does fantastically well, and it's a decent effort for Vinicius on the first one. Follow-up is pretty good as well. Needs saving again from Szczesny. It's better from Real Madrid.
Extraordinary work from Jude Bellingham. He's been the player really to get them going when they have got going tonight. Rudiger up, and tangling with Inigo Martinez has resulted in a Barcelona goal kick.
Head injury. There are appeals from Real Madrid. I'm not sure if they're appealing for anything other than it should have been a corner for them, but this was the attempt from Vinicius. Excellent save from Szczesny, and again, great reactions to get up and get down again to his left.
Wojciech Szczesny brought out of retirement by Barcelona, having left Juventus at the end of last season and called it a day. So it was the kind of call you can't turn down, and he's only suffered one defeat since coming into the team.
It's good to have friends in high places, isn't it? Lewandowski recommended him, made the phone call, and he is playing in the Copa del Rey.
Dani Olmo collected from RAPHINHIA. Valverde barking at teammates. Encouragement though for Real Madrid, having had their best chance of the entire game there through Vinicius. But Real Madrid haven't looked comfortable from these, and it's in by Dani Olmo, away by Rudiger, back in by RAPHINHIA. And Pedri stops that reaching Vinicius. Lamine Yamal off the ball, down. He's in a heap, and Barcelona play on without him. Might as well get back involved, actually.
Yep. Barcelona get this possession is slower from Barcelona in the second half. It's easier, if anything.
Dani Olmo, Frenkie de Jong. Pedri, lovely stuff from Barca. Gerard Martin. De Jong again.
Yeah, Barcelona can keep the ball all day here.
Kounde. Ferran Torres. RAPHINHIA. There was an offside in there.
Yeah, Real Madrid have got to show more purpose in terms of getting the ball back. The onus is on them. The clock will run down pretty quick. Barcelona will kill the game by playing lengthy spells of possession, in the belief that eventually space will open up and they'll punish Real Madrid.
Ceballos shut down by Kubasi. Here's Lamine Yamal. Fran Garcia and Rudiger's combined effort deal with him. The 17-year-old calls for a rally from the Blaugrana support in the stands.
Again, the way they're being brought up at Barcelona now, the 17-year-old, as soon as he lost the ball, straight back to win it back again. He gives away the goal kick.
Mbappe, Bellingham, pops it over the top, wonderful ball. Mbappe, onside, up against Frenkie de Jong. Still going here, Mbappe, a double step over, Szczesny in the way, Kubasi behind.
He was barely able to move, or barely able to touch the ball in the half-time break when he was warming up. But the adrenaline, he's pumped up now, he knows the challenge is there, he knows a lot is expected of him. And he looks right as rain now, the familiar step-overs, he gets away from Kubasi. Again, Szczesny involved in the action, called into the action twice now in this second half, as opposed to the first half where he barely mentioned his name.
The goal kick's been given. Real Madrid, meanwhile, are making a double change because Lucas Vázquez is being withdrawn here for Luka Modric. Madrid did look vulnerable down his side at times in that first half. And Arda Güler is coming on. Modric actually the club captain of Real Madrid these days. Dani Ceballos off for Arda Güler, who scored the winner in the week against Getafe.
Yeah, it doesn't mean Luka Modric is going to be right back.
Well, there are any defenders back there. Barcelona have completely exposed them here. Dani Olmo, Raphinha drags the pass, and Raphinha, in truth, drags the shot wide. That was 3-on-2.
Yeah, and it was a poor pass from Dani Olmo. He had options. I thought LAMINE was the preferred one. He had more space. But eventually, when he does pass it to Raphinha, I think it's slightly behind him. LAMINE has to, which means that Raphinha has to kind of check his stride. Should he be shooting again? I mean, it's been successful enough this season, but there was an opportunity there. But a little bit more composure from Barcelona to score the second goal of the game.
We're only 10 minutes into the second half, but it feels like there are more goals in this. Bellingham gets there first and jabs it onto a teammate, Mbappe. Frenkie de Jong there, Mbappe nearly slipping, but still going. Vinicius around Kounde. He had Chesney on the floor, but the goalkeeper grabs it. Appeals for Real Madrid for something, but they do look more threatening since half-time.
Definitely, and it's... Why are we seeing Real Madrid killing Mbappe on the ball up against Frenkie de Jong? That's been 2 or 3 occasions in the second half, and it's a mismatch. Frenkie de Jong's a midfield player, holding midfield player, and good composure on the ball, good positional play. But he's no match for Kylian Mbappe when it's 1 against 1.
They were saying this, I think, from Gerard Martin's a back pass. That's what Valverde, you can see here, is adamant. That's an indirect free kick.
Well, Fede Valverde must be right back now, but he wasn't right back then, was he?
I don't think Carlo Ancelotti knew what the appeal was for.
No idea what he's appealing for, but he's just joining in with the appeals.
3 chances for Real Madrid, though,
yeah,
Terry.
Much better, more like it from Ancelotti's team. They're taking a risk at the back. Barcelona are keeping 3 up. It's 3 against 3 on the halfway line. So Valverde has talked about playing as the right back now. He's pushing right up into midfield. I'm not sure there is a right back.
It's almost like he's leaving 3v3 back there.
Exactly, and Fran Garcia is one of those 3. Rudiger, Raul Asensio. Hansi Flick encouraging these 3 attackers to stay upfield.
Super from Bellingham again, onto Vinicius Junior, and Inigo Martinez shuts down Mbappe.
Life's a lot more uncomfortable now, isn't it, for the centre-backs of Barcelona?
Mbappe looks sharp enough. They've made 4 changes already, Real Madrid. And there's 2 openings for Vinicius Junior since the half-time team talks. Eighth time these sides have met in the Copa del Rey final. Last beat Real Madrid in the showpiece of this competition back in 1990. And Johan Cruyff. Last winners of it in 2021 under Ronald Koeman, and they beat Athletic Club 4-0. Frenkie de Jong, Lionel Messi, Antoine Griezmann, the scorers that night. Bellingham. There he is again, Vinicius Junior. And he puts a pretty tame one into the fingertips of Chesney.
Yeah, tough little period for Barcelona, so their supporters are getting behind them. The Real Madrid supporters.
Vinicius! Wow, he flashes that one wide.
Well, the game has turned, hasn't it? If Barcelona give possession away cheaply, Real Madrid have the players to punish them. despite wretched form in the league and going out of the Champions League in half an hour of football left, Barcelona against Real Madrid. The players down on the pitch now, Real Madrid. All that goes out the window, and they do have the talent to get back on level terms.
Here's Jules Kounde. Back with Szczesny again. Real Madrid have substantially added to their shot count, and their supporters are starting to believe they have the potential to come back here.
Yes, Pedri gives the ball away. Talks about giving the ball away cheaply. He doesn't actually get any curl on the ball, does he, which he's aiming for. But you're right, Rob, it's much sharper, much brighter. It's no choice. They look restricted in the first half with the tactical setup from Ancelotti, but it's an open game of football now.
Great running from midfield by Dani Olmo. The flick to Ferran Torres is sublime. Raphinha against Asensio. And that's just like his shot from a few minutes ago. 30-goal Raphinha with the opening again.
They can't be this wasteful, Barcelona. It's 1 against 1 again. It's a lack of defensive players for Real Madrid. This is brilliant skill from Dani Olmo. Eyes at the back of his head. Back heel pass. Raphinha is 1 against 1 against Real Asensio. I think he can do more than that. I don't think he has to shoot as quick as that. And he's miscued it in a fashion just like the one he previously had a few minutes ago. End-to-end stuff now. It's marvellous.
Yeah, far more open game. And Carlo Ancelotti in many ways has opened it up. Says of his own future, anything is possible. Of course, there's much expectation. He will leave at the end of the season and become Brazil head coach. Vinicius again, right away from Kounde, and no foul. The ball was won by Martinez. Frenkie de Jong, the ball forward, and Dani Olmo couldn't trap it.
And again, Raphinha was slow. He could have joined in then, and he might have been able to pounce on that loose ball. There's a goal coming. I have no idea which way it's going, which is brilliant.
Here's Mbappe. Asks a lot of Arda Güler, but Turkey international keeps it in. Modric. Still Modric. Oh, what a ball. Jules Kounde gets it away. This is a different Real Madrid now.
Fantastic game of football. A chance every 90 seconds or so now.
Mbappe. Blocked by Inigo Martinez. Not comfortable getting out now. Hands he flicks side.
No, Barcelona need something different now. For 5-10 minutes, they need Raphinha to drop deeper, need LAMINE YAMAL to drop deeper to give them, the defenders, some help. But that won't happen. Hansi Flick will leave the 3 up, and it's going to be an open game of football, and he'll trust these defenders and hope his team can score again, but it looks like Real Madrid at the moment.
Szczesny punches. Modric. Will he keep it? Yes. Arda Güler. Away from Raphinha. Vinicius Junior back post, and the flag is up. We're appealing for handball against Jules Kounde, and the referee says the beat needed perhaps to the video assistant Pablo González Fuertes.
Yeah, they're checking again. There's an offside there immediately. Not when the ball comes in, maybe, but initially in the build-up there was an clear offside.
Well, they wanted the free kick, but Martinez did get a piece of the ball.
It's not a cool look, is it? The Real Madrid players, the Real Madrid bench. Contesting every single decision on the back of what's happened this week.
Tchouameni with the challenge. One Real Madrid outfield player who did get booked in the first half that perhaps could have seen more yellow cards directed at Madrid players. Change now as Dani Olmo makes way for Fermin Lopez. It's the first Barca change, by the way, of the night.
He's had a few bumps and bruises, hasn't he? I think he's been a threat in the second half. His position of play is good. We saw that wonderful back heel, but I do wonder whether he's physically up to playing much more than this at the moment. There's a lot of games this season. It's a courageous change. It's not a negative one at all from Hansi Flick.
Fermin Lopez did start the 4-0 Clásico win at the Bernabeu. Rudiger, and then a little bit of retribution from Ferran Torres.
And from the centre-forward union, put the big centre-half on his backside after he's just knocked you over.
Shifted back by Bellingham to Rudiger, and Courtois takes control of the situation. RAPHINHIA, early ball, and Rudiger sweeps it away from Fermin. Oh, and RAPHINHIA thought he got the ball. Free kick Real Madrid, Adekula brought down. Dani Olmo's first taste of the Copa del Rey this season, of course, having spent his career away from Barcelona's academy in Croatia and Germany. It's very heavy from Bellingham.
This is around the time of the Clásico where it does get like this, when it's this close. Pedri isn't one of those that you normally associate with lunging in. Bellingham makes contact with the ball, there's plenty of contact. There's no contact on the ball from Bellingham. It's Adekula, I think, who touches the ball. He's clearly not feigning injury.
Inigo Martinez into Fermin. De Jong jabbed to Kounde. YAMAL tries to get away from Fran Garcia. Runs out of pitch, claims there was a touch from the left back.
I didn't think there was. I agree with the assistant referee, but good defending from Fran Garcia. Barcelona don't have control of this game at the moment. It's end to end. They do have the one-goal advantage.
Big chunk of turf gives way as Courtois launches it upfield. They're getting much tighter to Pedri in this half. And Mbappe saying he's through on the Barcelona goal.
I think he has a point. We talked already in this second half of the amount of times Frenkie de Jong has been the player trying to dispossess Kylian Mbappe. It shouldn't have been allowed to continue. Hansi Flick should have come up with something different. Pedri gives the ball away cheaply. When you do that against Vinicius, you're in trouble. He gives it to Mbappe. There's no doubt it's a foul. Players are on the cover. Kubasi, Gerard Martin. I think Frenkie de Jong is aware of that, knows exactly what he's doing, puts an end to that run from Kylian Mbappe. Knows it's going to be a yellow card. It's going to be a free kick in a dangerous position, though. Mbappe taking charge. Adekula wants to get involved. Luka Modric just on the scene.
Mbappe over it.
Well, at the moment it's a shambles, isn't it? The wall from Barcelona. If the referee allows Real Madrid to take it, all over the place. Szczesny has got to take control. It's the four-man wall. Frenkie de Jong closing down on one side. Fermin Lopez on the ground behind the ball. I think another man in the wall might be advisable, have to take more responsibility. They have to take more control. Because if you leave that opportunity, that little gap open for a player like Kylian Mbappe, he will find it. He's been superb. Real Madrid have been better in the second half. It's all level now.
The half-time change rewarded for Carlo Ancelotti. And Real Madrid increasingly in the ascendancy. They've fashioned a number of chances since the break. And Barcelona have gone cold. LAMINE YAMAL. So headed for extra time as things stand. Joe Martin in, Fermin Lopez back across, and Courtois commands.
When I said there's another goal coming and I don't know which way it was going to come, I regretted it as soon as I said it. I thought, that's it, it's going to be a 1-0 win now. But it was coming, wasn't it? And I had no idea whether it was going to be Real Madrid or whether it was going to be Barcelona. As it's turned out, I knew that Kylian Mbappe would be involved in something along the way. I think Barcelona have only got themselves to blame. They've been wasteful in some really good attacking situations. Yeah, Real Madrid and Ancelotti are going to throw everything at it in the second half. And it almost feels as if Barcelona have been caught by surprise that Real Madrid are playing like this in the second 45 minutes.
Luka Modric. Bellingham pops it along. Here's Frenkie de Jong. Finds Pedri, bit of space now for Pedri, who's been deprived of that since half-time. Kounde. Fermin Lopez. Really good blocks. A bit more intensity as well about Real Madrid.
Barcelona getting on the ball again now, and they move the ball quicker again. I talked about how slower the possession was in the second half.
Pedri, RAPHINHIA, LAMINE YAMAL. It's outstanding from Pedri. Oldafada Gula. See that lack of a real centre forward out there for Barcelona. Kounde's cutback, won by Bellingham. He stumbles. Wins it back from LAMINE YAMAL. And looks to work it with Kylian Mbappe. And they will. Vinicius Jr. is off. Mbappe with him. Support arriving. Mbappe! Important defending. Real Madrid nearly had the lead for the first time.
Well, I talked in the first half about Real Madrid weren't too fussed about possession because they were breathtaking on the attacking, counter-attacking situations. They weren't in the first half. And I wonder what the difference is. Kylian Mbappe. It's not just Vinicius who's playing up front on his own, it's Mbappe they're dropping deep, and when they're running away from the Barcelona players, it's a mismatch in terms of pace and speed. Frenkie de Jong, he's treading water trying to keep up with them. Inigo Martinez goes to ground. Vinicius gets himself in the penalty box. He's looking to feed Kylian Mbappe. Excellent work from Pau Kubasi.
Things going on in the area. Asensio down. Modric hangs it up. Back out with the Croatian. He surprisingly dithered on the ball there before RAPHINHIA shut him down. Hansi Flick will turn to his bench again, and with Araujo is about to come on.
Well, that will be interesting. It'll be interesting to see where he plays. He's obviously a centre-back, can play right-back. It'd be unusual for Hansi Flick to change the centre-back pairing. Araujo is quicker than both of those, which might be playing on his mind, something he's considering.
Inigo Martinez did look slightly laboured when Vinicius Jr. broke past him a moment ago, deals with that cross.
It's not the first, won't be the last.
Gula in towards Bellingham. Everything going Real Madrid's way right now.
And they've got a cutting edge now, haven't they? They were toothless in the first half. Kounde gets dragged towards the ball. There's the matchup. Kounde goes a yard away from Tchouameni. Tchouameni slams it home from close range. But I talked about Real Madrid. When they're not playing well, they can still cause you problems. They can still hurt you because they have individual brilliance. But that, from a set piece, might be the goal that wins them the Copa del Rey.
Scored one just like that in the semi-final against Real Sociedad. And now Barcelona on the receiving end of it. They had complete control of this final, or so it appeared. Rudiger getting strapped up.
He's been bold in the second half, hasn't he, Ancelotti? He made the change at half-time. He's made other further changes. Analysing it tactically, I have no idea who's playing right back for Real Madrid. I think Valverde will go and play there now. His team are ahead. I joked about Modric won't be right back. He has been right back on some occasions. Barcelona have been wasteful on fantastic opportunities. Someone wants to take him off, but he's not having it. But they are down to 10. Tchouameni's dropped into the centre-back position.
2 goals in 7 minutes. Kounde, De Jong shut down Mbappe with Vinicius running away to his left-hand side. Shut down by Kounde. And Vinicius Jr. can't deal with Frenkie de Jong. They can't deal with Barcelona here. In by LAMINE YAMAL, away by Valverde. It kind of looked like he was at right back there for a moment.
Yeah. I think now they're winning. I think we'll see some sort of regular back four.
De Jong.
Rudiger's not there at the moment.
Sprinting back into the scene here as ball's popped in towards Ferran Torres.
We didn't get those changes from Barcelona, did we?
I was just looking at that. No, same team out there.
I guess the needs have changed, haven't they? The changes were going to be made when it was 1-1. Now they're trailing, there is a deficit. Just over 10 minutes plus added on time left. Yeah, I think it's wise to review those changes.
Fermin Lopez trying to break around Fran Garcia. Messy but effective and away by Tchouameni.
Rudiger is back on. Does appear to be hobbling.
Pedri. We do have David Alaba on the bench. Gula, who made the goal for 2-1. As Vinicius... Oh, there was the moment to pass. And it passed. Vinicius gets back on side, collects from Mbappe. Inigo Martinez narrows his angle. But he was offside all along.
Tremendous character shown by Real Madrid, totally outplayed in the first half. Didn't trouble Szczesny in goal at all. But they've rallied, showed a great spirit, great determination, and of course they've always got the talent to turn any game around.
came into this game, Barcelona having scored 9 times in their 2 matches with Real Madrid this season. Pedri, Lamine Yamal, who might do it, but for the towering figure of Thibaut Courtois.
You thought he had there, didn't you? We could see from our angle, there was curl on it, it was heading towards the far post. The first time he's been allowed to do that tonight, Lamine Yamal. It's textbook from a 17-year-old winger, but read superbly well by Courtois.
Rafinha's ball, way by Valverde. Now there feels such a threat about Real Madrid on the counter-attack, and Pedri knows he just has to get goal side. Vinicius, Mbappe up with him. Lamine Yamal was doing his bit defensively, but there are gaps. Valverde.
Change in atmosphere in the stadium is astonishing as well. The Real Madrid fans were really quiet in the first half. Barcelona would love to have Lewandowski out there, wouldn't they?
Big miss tonight with his 40 goals in 48 games.
Even Balde, I think he's a miss. Joe Martin has done okay, but in an attacking sense, he doesn't give him the same threat as Alejandro Balde. Casado and Bernal were the other injured players there for Barcelona.
You've kind of felt that with Gerard Martin's final ball when he has got into those areas. Fermin Lopez.
Finish right. It's got to have the right pace on it. It's got to be accurate. He doesn't want to think about it too much because I promise you, you would miss. So just get it on target. Play by instinct. And he's been superb this year. It's back up to Lewandowski, and I'm just, as the words came out my mouth about wouldn't they love to have Lewandowski there tonight, his replacement, Ferran Torres, does it again. And the 16 starts, that's his 18th goal this season. A lot of them have come from the bench, but he can be counted on this season.
Yeah, so often handsy flicks, super sub. But tonight, the starter and goal scorer. We're back, headed towards extra time as Barca make more changes. Gerard Martin off, Araujo on. Well, the changes of the game has changed again, but Gavi does finally come on here for Frenkie de Jong, Terry.
Inigo Martinez just slips across the left back. I can't remember the last time we've seen that for Barcelona.
We did see Hector Fort get ready to come on, and he played in that position at the weekend, despite being a right back. Tchouameni. Lamine Yamal, 2 sublime assists for him tonight.
It's been a brilliant game again as well. The expectation levels are often through the roof on these games, but I think when you look at the players for both teams, and it promised a lot and it's delivered.
Isn't quite up to the same level from the 17-year-olds. Tchouameni, fantastic second half. The Estadio La Catua. Vinicius caught by Kounde. A swing of the leg, and he's asking for a yellow card, which I thought is a yellow card offence in itself.
He's been better in the second half, hasn't he? That's a clear foul. Possibly a yellow card. Maybe Vinicius waving the yellow card meant that Kounde didn't get the yellow card. It can have that effect on referees. Last set piece was telling. And they can do it again, you know, Real Madrid. Modric with the delivery will be exactly where he wants it.
Ball looked good. Bellingham thought he was about to meet it. Inigo Martinez pumps the ball down the line for Raphinha to chase.
Yeah, that was pretty pointless, Raphinha closing down on his own there because he wasn't backed up by his teammates, and he's been quite disappointing tonight, hasn't he, Raphinha?
He's had a standout season as a Barcelona player, but he's been quiet and wasteful with his chances when they presented themselves. Vinicius Jr. Kounde did brilliantly, and there will be a goal kick. With Militao amongst the injury group, and it's been a long-term injury absence for him and Dani Carvajal this season. Vinicius Jr. down, and some activity to suggest.
And there was a gesture from the bench that they were going to make another change, that someone else was down injured as well.
We'll look down the line of players from Endrick to see if there was any activity there.
There wasn't, was there, from Endrick?
Well, he's making his way over to the touchline here with the medical team. Yeah, it doesn't look comfortable, does it?
It's not an impact injury, it must be a muscular problem. That's a blow to Real Madrid. Because that combination and the partnership with him and Mbappe has been a massive difference in his second half performance for Real Madrid.
So Brahim Diaz gets the nod ahead of Endrick to replace Vinicius. Positionally, that makes more sense.
And he's a good player. Brahim Diaz is unlucky. He's a super talented player, but unlucky with the players ahead of him. Probably should be putting Modric under more pressure for his position in the regular starting lineup. It could have been games for Real Madrid.
90th minute with extra time on the way. Down the line by Martinez, looking for support. Gets it from Ferran Torres. The last Clásico Copa del Rey final was decided by a relatively late goal, that 85th minute wonder effort from Gareth Bale, 11 years ago now. But there are 6 added minutes here for someone to win it before extra time. And a reminder, in 15 days' time, these two will do battle again, live on Premier Sports 1, the home of La Liga. There's a yellow card out here from Ricardo de Burgos and Goechea.
I think it's for Luka Modric. Yes, it is.
Gavi too sharp.
Because he does catch Gavi there, that's not It's a nasty challenge, to be honest. On second view, it looks even worse. You can understand Gavi's frustration, just returned back from almost a year out of an ACL. And the last person he expected that challenge to come from is probably Luka Modric. And an element of trust with Gavi, thinking it's not Rudiger, it's Luka Modric, I'll be okay for this one, he's not going to bury me, but he did.
Valverde's swinging legs out, but Barcelona move with great effect. Modric shacking Pedri. Pedri hangs it up to RAPHINHIA, but too much on the pass. He believes that was an opening.
Yeah, and he probably feels that RAPHINHIA could have taken it before it bounced. I think that was the intention from Pedri. Once it bounced, it skipped away, and there was no chance of RAPHINHIA getting on the ball.
Ferran Torres has it. Took a long time to unload the shot in the end. Lamine Yamal. Such a pirouette beyond Tchouaméni. Ardagula was fouled in the middle of all that. Bellingham, Madrid move. Mbappe.
Valverde stretching off over the right back position as well.
Brahim Diaz nearly got that right for Bellingham. Kounde. Fermin Lopez. Lamine Yamal has it back and ran into Rudiger. The idea was nice, in fact, but there was no support there for Pedri. Yellow card for Fermin for stopping the move.
The flow of this game has been incredible, because since Barcelona scored, they looked the more dangerous team. They looked out of it when Real Madrid were leading 2-1.
Mbappe takes on too much. Lamine Yamal with Ardagula behind him. He didn't know that. Ferran Torres turns. And he loses his footing.
Fermin Lopez has just been booked. And that's a crunching challenge on Ardagula. Ferran Torres aiming at some sort of infringement here. Rudiger might just tap away his ankle. Not sure how much force there was on that. Pulls his leg away, doesn't he? Slightly. There's no doubt that's a foul by Fermin on Ardagula.
Well, Ferran Torres, look, he's saying that took him off balance.
It did. It almost, his foot slides away, doesn't it? In that direction. On first viewing, I didn't think it was a penalty. It does knock his foot away, doesn't it? And therefore, Ferran Torres, it's impossible for him to keep his balance and stand up. He's had his leg taken away from him.
There's nothing guilty looking than a player instantly saying, I didn't touch him. And that's exactly what Rudiger did there, having challenged Ferran Torres. But it's Barcelona who are certainly finishing regular time the stronger. RAPHINHIA. Oh, and a lazy leg and a penalty right at the death for Barcelona. It's Raul Asensio. And the referee at the centre of so much of the pre-match talk has just made a huge call right at the end.
Well, Raul Asensio is 100% convinced this isn't going to be given. I don't share his confidence, I have to be honest. RAPHINHIA cuts inside. RAPHINHIA touches the ball. Asensio goes to ground. This will be the right angle. He clatters him. I don't think that VAR are going to turn over that decision from the referee. It's not a clear and obvious mistake. Fede Valverde was missing. He's really struggling fitness-wise. He was labouring back, couldn't get back. Therefore, plenty of space for RAPHINHIA. If they've seen the replay and they're saying it's definitely not a penalty, I think it is. I think when RAPHINHIA, that's the touch. Does he throw himself to the ground? Yes, possibly. Is there contact on the ball from Asensio? I don't think there is. No, there isn't. The referee is in the perfect position. Real Madrid seem confident it's going to be overturned.
Ancelotti wagging his finger in the direction of Ricardo de Burgos, begging Echea. Will the video assistant see enough in any of these replays to suggest what was seen in real time was not correct? video assistant is checking. And now the anxious wait.
I think something like this happens, you're always looking for non-contact and a dive. There's no dive there, there is contact.
He will be sent to the monitor. Wow. Well, of course, the referee had to be at the centre of the drama, given the way the past 24, 36 hours have unfolded. His tears in his pre-final press conference yesterday about the pressure being put on him by Real Madrid. And Barcelona will now feel that this is not going to go their way. Goicoechea does not want anyone around him as he reviews the monitor.
Such drama. Always is in these games. It adds to the drama. Asensio's challenge there. The right leg from Asensio and a push on the back. The right leg of Asensio is the one that catches him as well. RAPHINHIA touches the ball first. There's a tangle of legs. There's a push on the back.
Well, that replay seems to suggest that RAPHINHIA was going to ground before the contact. And look, this is... Well, all these players technically should get a yellow card here. Now, since Araujo's introduction, he's the captain.
And Asensio was confident it wasn't going to be given.
And the referee now is pulling out a yellow card that will be flashed in the direction of RAPHINHIA for simulation. The decision is overturned. That last angle was actually the most compelling we'd been shown to this whole point. That RAPHINHIA went to ground before any kind of contact. Nonetheless, it's the arm in the back from the Asensio. Is it overturnable? They have no penalty.
Well, the blessing is we're going to get extra time. Asensio was right. I thought it was. I thought it was a tangle. I think once RAPHINHIA touches the ball first, I don't see a clear and obvious dive. Yes, he's making the most of it. He knows the importance of getting that touch before Asensio. He's hoping for contact, and there was.
Incredible drama, and we're not done, because this year's Copa del Rey final is going to extra time. Ferran Torres with a super equalizer, 6 minutes from time, and Raúl Asensio spared a crushing moment in the early moment of his Real Madrid career to give away a late penalty in a Clásico Cup final. So Carlo Ancelotti to review here with the score at Barcelona 2, Real Madrid 2 in Seville. So Real Madrid will get the extra sub now headed into extra time.
And it's needed. Who do you pick it for? Rudiger's still out there. He's labouring. He's injured. Fede Valverde was on his last legs.
Well, you just knew it was going to go past midnight local time.
And we just knew there was going to be controversy. We knew there was going to be thrills and spills. Well, say Rudiger is struggling here. Ferran Torres knows that. He's sharp. It gets between him and Courtois. Plenty of work to do on the finish. How many times we've seen them strikers miss the target, don't put enough pace on it. It's cleared by a defender. Ferran Torres held his nerve. Back on level terms. We've got extra time. It was so nearly a dramatic ending to the game with that overturned Barcelona penalty appeal.
Yeah, so into the early hours of Sunday morning now in Seville. And what a Copa del Rey final. It has been so far. And how Real Madrid have worked their way back into it, the numbers, the shot count, those on target. It has been such an impressive turnaround from Carlo Ancelotti's side.
Yeah, that's the important ones, the shots on target, not so much the ball possession, because Real Madrid have at moments, they have players that are brilliant, individual players that are brilliant, and if there's a comeback to be had, and they're chucking players forward, and they're willing to be braver with their play than what they were in the first half, and of course on top of that Mbappe comes on, then when they do counter-attack, they scare the life out of teams, and tonight that's been the case. In the second half, Barcelona was struggling. Frenkie de Jong in particular kept finding himself having to chase back with Kylian Mbappe and one or two others. He suffered more than most of the Barcelona players, but they were... I'm delighted we've got extra time. It's a massive game in world football. This game hasn't disappointed. Where's it heading? All the way to penalties, or one of these teams going to find another decisive player? The options are few and thin on the ground now for Ancelotti.
Yeah, a couple of goalkeepers on the bench, then Alaba coming back from injury. Deco up in the stands, of course, part of the running of matters at Barcelona these days.
Bojan alongside him.
Yep.
He's his assistant now at Barcelona.
But Kylian Mbappe's introduction, perhaps it should be no surprise, but we didn't, in truth, know the full extent of his injury, how fit he was going to be out there. Doesn't look like he's got a problem with his ankle at all.
No. Hasn't slowed him down, has it? That's for sure. Hasn't stopped him doing a step over.
Nope. King Philippe, high up in the stands, watching on. And the Copa del Rey will have another 30 minutes, and we have two different captains compared to the starting of the game, because Araujo and Modric have been introduced into the second half. Carlo Ancelotti said his team can win this trophy if they find the right balance, and it was much better in the second half. And Hansi Flick, who's not hidden from the fact that they want to treble, saying in the press conference yesterday, we want these 3 titles, not shy from it. But they must win tonight to keep that dream alive. Physically, Real Madrid might look a little bit more battered and bruised and tired out there, mate.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Valverde is the interesting one. So many games, he plays so many different positions, asked to play so many different roles, but he was really struggling at the end of the 90-minute period.
It is his 54th game of the season tonight, more than any other player in the squad. Kounde. So extra time underway at the Estadio La Cartuja. RAPHINHIA. Free kick to Real Madrid. He was speaking interestingly this week. We've had the Spain head coach in attendance. Some of his stars in action here, including Gavi, who hasn't actually been part of the picture really since coming back from that ACL.
Yes, it does appear everybody is taking care with Gavi, but he's not the type of player that wants people to take care. He wants to be thrown straight back in the the action. A very good sub to bring on in this type of game, a competitive player. Very competitive player.
On the ball here, to his partner in crime, Pedri. Mentioning RAPHINHIA there, saying he was in a Pretty bad place a year ago that had an offer coming from Saudi Arabia, he would have gone. But now his mind is clear to the idea he'll stay at Barcelona.
He's been good since he joined the club, but this season he's just gone off the scale. It's the way that Hansi Flick has managed him, the way that Barcelona play now suits him better than more than ever done before. Ferran Torres here apparently just picks up Raul Asensio and throws him to the ground.
Ferran Torres saying to him, come on, let's just get on with it. Come forward by the centre-back, who only made his debut for Real Madrid back in December. He's basically played every game since, or close to it. Fermin Lopez, one of the subs, bit of energy from him. Ferran Torres, LAMINE YAMAL, shut down by Tchouaméni, who loses it. Did well in the end, Tchouaméni, who likely thought he'd won this cup final. Bellingham, Tchouaméni, oh what a move! Brahim Diaz set away. Ardagula back post, Mbappe collects. And Pau Kubasi does enough. Treat by Fran Garcia, Modric. Mbappe. Looked off. Play goes on, almost half-heartedly from Real Madrid in the knowledge of flag would go up.
I'm looking at the back four of Barcelona. Well, that was in and it was Araujo was left back. Inigo Martinez has gone back into the centre defence. I don't know if it's going to stay there. They're all over the place a little bit. You see Kubasi right back, Kounde was centre back.
He made some excellent saves in the second half as well, let's not forget.
He did.
Pumped down the line for RAPHINHIA, but he won't stay in play. Real Madrid have got past the likes of Celta Vigo after extra time. Leganés in the quarterfinals. Real Sociedad having led 1-0 from the first leg away from home, a crazy 4-4 at home that was won in extra time by Rudiger in the second leg. Barcelona weren't sharp to that. Fran Garcia with a run on the outside, Araujo in the way.
There's the benefits of Araujo. He's their quickest central defender. He's quicker than Kubasi, quicker than Inigo Martinez. Still not as quick as Kylian Mbappe,
no.
But he's going to get closer.
On by Modric. Like he was in trouble there for Modric, but Valverde now under pressure. Mbappe back to Valverde. Real Madrid actually came into this final having lost 3 of their last 6 games. They lost 2 in the entirety of all last season. The double defeat to Arsenal, that home loss to Valencia, Terry, in La Liga. Super ball from Raul Asensio. Brahim Diaz. One back by Fermin. LAMINE YAMAL. There's another one of those passes in him to Ferran Torres, who looks up and saw RAPHINHIA was arriving. But they make yards.
Just slightly underhit the attempted cross. But again, I would have questioned why RAPHINHIA's not first to the ball. We're so familiar now, aren't we, with the outside of the foot passing and crossing from LAMINE YAMAL. It's really awkward at times, but he still
works.
Yeah.
Yep. Pablo Torre on the bench tonight in terms of an attacking sense. Ansu Fati, who started in the week. Centre forward Pau Victor as well. RAPHINHIA. Hugo Martinez now playing at left back. Away by Rudiger.
He's got a collection of strappings all over his body now, hasn't he, Rudiger? His knees strapped up and he was having stuff applied to his calf.
Pedri being withdrawn for Eric Garcia. He actually played it right back in the entire showpiece in Seville. The 6th goal of the season.
It's a tweak, isn't it? I think Eric Garcia will go and play as the holding midfield player.
Moved on by Kubasi. Fermin tries to lose Tchouameni, and he has done. He's lost Fran Garcia too. Ferran Torres with the movement to the near post, and it's hoovered up by Courtois. Ardagula, good awareness. Modric with the movement. Blocked by Kounde. Pedri's evening done, and now he can only watch and hope his teammates will produce something big.
It doesn't look as if either team are settling for a draw and getting through to penalties. It has, tempo of the game has slowed down, as Hendrick is the obvious one.
Was joint top scorer in the Copa del Rey prior to tonight with Ferran Torres and Julian Alvarez. Mbappe's ball through, intercepted. Bellingham nearly got there. We haven't seen him really in extra time, have we?
The entire second half and the extra time. The game has drastically slowed down now, hasn't it? It's about which team can string together enough passes, which team can get back into a defensive shape quick enough. Real Madrid have done that in this occasion. Barcelona slow passing attack, which has allowed the white shirts to get back in position.
Fermin Lopez nearly blustered his way through players in white. On by Bellingham towards Mbappe. Now Kubasi. Barcelona did rotate midweek to try and keep things fresh for today, but so did Real Madrid. Both managers taking gambles in a way. Fran Garcia's ball flicked on, it will find Mbappe. Bellingham, no foul, the ball was one, said the referee. Real Madrid appealing while Barca move. And Ferran Torres couldn't guide that on to RAPHINHIA.
You feel again Barcelona are getting more opportunities now, but they're still untidy with their final pass and they're wasting good attacking situations.
Well, blasts it out.
I'm not sure he needed to do that. He could have been more constructive with it's up against Luka Modric, who's not going to outrun him.
Jude Bellingham playing his 48th game of Real Madrid's 57-game season so far tonight. But he was one of those that came on in the hard-fought win against Getafe in the week, which you saw, Terry.
Yep, they needed the big hitters to come off the bench. They got the job done. It's a tough place to go and get 3 points. The last La Liga fixture you would like to have 3 days before a cup final, if I'm being honest.
Gavi pushes it out to Ferran Torres, who knows he has RAPHINHIA around the back. But gathered by Courtois. Kounde too strong. Fermin Lopez. Martinez on the outside.
Looks as if whichever team can find that little bit of sharpness now, whether it's an individual or quicker attacking play.
Referee trying to play the advantage for Real Madrid, but he's going to go back to give the free kick to Hansi Flick's dismay.
It's a clear foul. Too much complaining tonight, isn't there, from both sets of players, both benches, to a referee that was under enormous pressure.
Free kick was poor, gives it straight back to Barcelona. Lamine Yamal. Does he still have some creativity in his legs here as RAPHINHIA goes down under the challenge of Modric?
He needs to be careful. I mean, if this is another attempt at a dive and feigning injury, the referee has explained it. Obviously, VAR has already checked it out. There's no foul.
Ferran Torres telling RAPHINHIA to get back and link the play because Martinez is on his own. Fermin, bad challenge for Valverde. Barca play on. Ferran Torres! Just skews that wide. Nearly had his second of the game.
Yep, he's looked sharp, and it was... I'm just going to say that Fermin Lopez looks like one of the players that could do some damage. He's the liveliest looking attacking player on the pitch. It goes to Ferran Torres. He thinks about the return, and RAPHINHIA slides the ball into him, and before you know it, I thought he'd done the hard part. Gets it away from Courtois, but he just drags it across and goes wide of that far post.
Moves so slick, our camera operator nearly lost track of the whole thing. Bellingham, super leap. Ardagula onto it. Mbappe free at the back post, but Barca's captain in the way of it. Some anxious expressions at both ends of the Estadio La Cartuja. Real Madrid have already scored from a corner this evening. And they had a run, it was Tchouaméni again.
Yeah, he was flying onto that one.
Half-time in extra time. No winning breakthrough yet. They're trying to catch their breath, the players out there, including 17-year-old Lamine Yamal. They'll be feeling it here now, Barcelona.
Yeah, we're talking about 90 minutes of football. I think we had 5-6 minutes at the end of each half as well. Now we've got extra time. The amount of games these players play, I don't know if we're getting any benefit out of an extra 30 minutes of extra time. I don't know what the solution is, but both sets of players now look out on their feet. We underestimate the heat as well, which has suddenly appeared in this part of Spain. Who could be the one player that can look the fresher? Can they make... Endrick is clearly that type of player. Ancelotti has been reluctant to use him.
Is this now an issue of trust in a big moment like this as to whether he brings him on or not?
Yeah, but I also think that freshness, I think Fermin Lopez clearly looks... Ferran Torres looks lively still. But I think Fermin Lopez, out the substitutes that come, it's important you get on... You've got to make as many changes as you possibly can.
Rude again, real pain. So much so he interrupted Carlo Ancelotti's inspirational second half team talk.
Ancelotti asking his players to keep the ball. Important at this stage of the game, it's a possession game, don't give the ball away, it's what he's explaining.
Well, everyone has kept their seats. to see how this is going to unfold. Is it going to go all the way to penalties? Real Madrid, of course, have already had penalty glory this season against Atletico in the Champions League. The infamous Alvarez double touch penalty. Dani Carvajal admitted it would be frustrating watching merely from the dugout, from the touchline.
He's cheerleading. The talisman of this team and this football club to Stegen saying, do you want me to get warmed up for penalties, boss?
Well, we all remember the Louis van Gaal decision to make a change in goal during a World Cup penalty shootout. You'd be surprised, and Szczesny's had a good game out there today. He was sent off in the Super Cup meeting between these sides in the winter. But 15 more minutes, and then potentially penalties. Coming up to midnight in Seville. Kits didn't look tired though, did they? They look fine. Up in the stands tonight as Bellingham's hauled down. He's feeling it for sure.
There's a bit of a pile up there in central midfield. Eric Garcia with his leg across Jude Bellingham. And Bellingham find the second wind. Mbappe has been quiet since that initial burst after appearing as a substitute at half-time. Maybe Vinicius going off has lessened the threat of Real Madrid going forward.
Kounde down. Here's Eric Garcia. Most meaningful touches I can remember from him since coming on, and that's a super smart ball onto Fermin, who has options in the middle. Ferran Torres! Flags up.
He shouldn't have been offside. Doesn't need to be offside here. Tired mind. If I'm looking for a way out for him. He's never onside in this whole attack. It's an easy one.
That's
an easy one for him to get right.
Down, doesn't he, as well, there?
He had every possibility there of getting free.
Fermin, too sharp, Rudiger laboured, and the deflection off his own foot, perhaps. Sees that land on the roof of the Real Madrid net.
I'm not entirely sure what's happened here, whether play is going to be brought back and a free kick to Barcelona. Does the advantage count? Is that the end of the move as Bellingham catches Eric Garcia?
Yeah, so he's booked here, Bellingham, but Fermin went on. Again, more of the turf just giving way. But it's a double touch that takes it over the bar.
Courtois doesn't look like he's got the energy now to kick the ball into the attacking half of the pitch.
Only one previous Clásico has ended in a penalty shootout. It was back in 1985 in a cup quarter-final at the Bernabeu. Barcelona won, by the way. So we might be on for the rarest of things here tonight. Real Madrid trying to stop that happening. It's Kylian Mbappe, collects from Valverde. Arda Güler should be fresh out there compared to others. Bellingham made the run, flag stayed down. Kounde clipped. Ferran Torres. Just trying to find Fermin Lopez at the moment because he is the busiest player out there. And Tchouameni with a brilliant challenge.
Yeah, he's been superb tonight. He's really good as the one holding midfield player in Real Madrid's midfield. He's gone to centre back. He's been outstanding. He's dropping back in. He's helping out. Sometimes it's three at the back with him and Asensio. Sometimes Asensio is right back. Sometimes Valverde's right back. He's just putting out fires all over the pitch already in Tchouameni.
Martinez and Kubasi arriving now. Corner right in on the keeper, and doing the fact he didn't do better with that is Eric Garcia.
Yeah, because he clearly thinks he should have done. He's frustrated. He's got across the defender, tried to glance it back towards goal. It's not an easy chance though.
Well, he's lively and he will be fresh compared to others.
And in form in this competition. A big reason why Real Madrid are here in the final.
Centre-back off the striker, Terry, as well. Rudiger withdrawn.
Just another position change with Tchouameni again. He's been backwards and forwards. He's been doing doggies in midfield and centre-back tonight. And Rudiger has done well to last this long, because I thought he was going to go off quite some time ago with at least one injury.
So on comes Endrick. Round of applause from Carlo Ancelotti. And his 18-year-old striker's
on. Both legs taped up and strapped up.
Scored in both legs of the Real Sociedad semi-finals, and in fact has scored in his last 4 Copa del Rey appearances.
He's sharp, he's lively, he can be too aggressive at times as well. He can get wound up, but he can finish. He might get a chance where he might be better off playing someone else in, but I promise you he'll shoot. He is very direct. And he's a potential match winner for Real Madrid.
So roughly 10 minutes to work with here at the end of extra time. By my count, Barca have used 4 subs. Still have like someone like Ansu Fati, who, despite his limited minutes, you'd have thought might offer freshness.
It's important to keep that freshness. Use the maximum amounts, get the maximum amount of fresher players on the pitch. He's taken off Pedri. There isn't a bigger player in this team than Pedri. LAMINE is extraordinary. At 17, he can keep playing as much as he does.
Gavi gets forward, and Fede Valverde has some engine on him. He's there to deal with it. Brahim Diaz skipping forward, Bellingham with Mbappe up with him. Arda Güler. Endrick on the outside.
Told you he
on
should.
cue, yeah. It's a lovely play from Lamine Yamal. He offloaded the ball and then didn't really get up with Gavi. Arda Güler. Mbappe's at the back post. Bellingham's running, and he couldn't make meaningful contact with it.
That's his game, isn't it? Since he's joined Real Madrid, that ability to burst into the penalty box. Arda Güler with a lovely in-swinging cross. Kounde does just about enough, doesn't he? Gets tight, make sure he has contact. Bellingham just a touch away from getting a flying diving header.
His 1 goal in this Copa del Rey run came in the 4-4 with Real Sociedad in the semi-final. Hasn't been as free scoring as last season, but the role has changed. 23 goals in 23-24, 13 this season. It's probably more what they were expecting, in truth, when they signed him from Dortmund.
His highest Dortmund was 14 a season.
Extraordinary long ball, and it's gone all the way up to Diaz.
Players keep finding reserves of energy and strength that you don't think they've got anymore in this game.
Arda Güler and Endrick try to exchange it. Back in towards Bellingham again. And Jules Kounde there once more. The pass dragged, Tchouameni Avoids falling over. Oh, it's a wild decision to go for that from Endrick. He's lost it, and Raul Asensio's bailed him out big time.
How poor was that from RAPHINHIA? 3 players to aim for, all making the right angle for him. He could have had another touch, and it would have been a straightforward pass for a teammate to slot home. He's shot too early tonight, he's crossed too early tonight, he's passed too early tonight, RAPHINHIA. He is one of those players that Hansi Flick is going to rely on, trust. He's doing it throughout this season, he has come up with the goods. But it's Ferran Torres who's making way for Pau Victor, straight swap.
The Copa del Rey's top scorer this season departs, and Pau Victor, the striker who was given a first-team contract in the summer after impressing in pre-season. He's got a couple of goals this season, both in La Liga. Straight in up front, and one imagines he'd be on a penalty.
Wrong choice. You don't score many goals, and when they do, they're normally with your head. But I underestimated the technical ability there. He's aiming for the corner, hits it right through with the laces. It's a tired dive from Thibaut Courtois. He tries to get down low, tries to get that firm hand on it. Sneaks under the dive of Courtois. These games are always dramatic. There's always so much drama. And it's not finished yet.
Modric saying he should have had his teammate come to the ball there. And Jules Kounde, who left the city of Seville to join Barcelona, back here, he might have won it. He might have won it. And while the cliche will sound tired, if there's one team who can score here, it is Real Madrid. And here is Brahim Diaz. Mbappe! Mbappe! Penalty! Oh, the offside flag's gone up, I think.
Well, we're going to have to chew over this one now, aren't we? Offside. Was it a penalty? They've really gone quickly on the offside decision. I was looking at Endrick being offside. Mbappe isn't. Great skills from Mbappe. Gavi with the touch, maybe. It's untidy, it's a mess, but it was always going to end like this in these circumstances.
Wow, what a game, what a game.
Offside appears to have been confirmed.
Yeah, it looked like Brahim Diaz was beyond the last man when he was played in. Fermin Asensio keeps it in play, and then LAMINE YAMAL wins it back. Well, they couldn't rally to turn around that Arsenal deficit in the Champions League, and they're not done in La Liga's title race.
Both sets of supporters have been really put through it tonight, haven't they? Barcelona in control, and suddenly Mbappe appears, then Real Madrid in control, then the equalizer, now a possible winning goal in extra time.
Hansi Flick shouting at his players for going onto the pitch, and one throwing something onto the pitch. Chaos down on the touchline. RAPHINHIA, oh, what a touch. Pau Victor. Modric gets in his way, but it's another pass of his, cut out.
We're going to soon find out how much added on time in extra time.
The official hasn't even popped up the board yet. We've had the 120 minutes, but there's going to be 2 additional. Modric, Brahim Diaz, Chesney's out.
Calamity written all over it, didn't it? But he gets away with it, makes the right call.
It's going to be Sunday League on the touchline. Yeah. And Endrick's offside.
With 26 players on the pitch there and 3 footballs.
Again, he's looking down the line there, Edric.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. He's 18 years of age. And that has killed the clock for Real Madrid. They can't get the momentum going. And they've given that manager their all tonight. There's been no complaint about character and attitude and spirit. And for long periods of the second half and extra time, the ability that we know they have. But it's been a sensational game of football.
Valverde. Big header from the captain. Pau Victor. Offside. I think it's chaotic out there at the moment. Hail Mary time for Courtois and Real Madrid. It's another flick on by Bellingham, won by a player in white. Mbappe gets away from Eric Garcia, but the hand catches Eric Garcia. Real Madrid players from the touchline running on the pitch.
There's stuff being thrown on the pitch by the Real Madrid players, and Mbappe's just trying to break through there of Eric Garcia. You're looking at the Barcelona player. Something did get thrown on the pitch from the bench from a Real Madrid player. Obviously, it appears it must have been Rudiger.
Look at this here. Rudiger furious with the referee. They haven't told him back. And Rudiger screaming at the referee, already so in the spotlight prior to this final. But they've lost it down on the touchline here, Real Madrid.
You can see something that's thrown. I mean, he's in big trouble. It doesn't miss the referee by a million miles, does it? It's at the referee, wherever it is. He's throwing an object at the referee. If it is Rudiger, it's pathetic from the Real Madrid. It's over a free kick. There's 120 odd minutes, plus all those extra minutes we've had, and they're losing it over a free kick against Kylian Mbappe. And I've just given them credit about the way they performed. They've got players that are missing through injury, important players missing through injury, players playing in different positions throughout the game. They came back to lead when I thought it was against them. I didn't see them winning this game when they were outplayed in the first half. But then they go and spoil it by these antics with what's gone on during the week as well regarding the referee. And they get beaten this.
Barcelona will lift the Copa del Rey for a record 32nd time. The most dramatic of finals, befitting of a Clásico, decided right at the end of extra time. Jules Kounde there, taking in the adulation of 26,000 Barca fans. At one point Real Madrid did lead, but Barca got them level before 90 were played. And in extra time, it is the Blaugrana Terry Gibson that celebrate.
Yeah, I'm glad it didn't go to penalties. I wanted the winner in the natural state of play. And I had no idea who that winning team was going to be. First half, I thought Barcelona dominated. We probably all looked at it and thought they probably should be more than 1 goal ahead. And you knew with just that 1 goal lead, that 1 goal advantage, that Real Madrid would come out fighting and be better in the second half. And they were. And Mbappe makes all the difference. It's dramatic, always dramatic. The scoring of this match was dramatic. It ends in dramatic fashion. It doesn't end great for Real Madrid in terms of the players' behaviour. Antonio Rudiger, I've never seen someone throw something at a missile at a referee from the bench. He's going to be punished accordingly. We won't be seeing him again for Real Madrid this season. Barcelona, the treble is on. An unlikely hero in Jules Kounde. There's been no criticism of the performance of Real Madrid in terms of spirit and attitude and fight, pride in wearing the shirt, but it's Barcelona who just literally nick it at the death.
We wondered if extra time was labouring towards an inevitable penalty shootout. Madrid still furious at the full-time whistle. But they are beaten tonight. Stay with us on Premier Sports. We'll be back shortly for the trophy presentation as Barcelona win the Copa del Rey. Welcome back to Seville, where we wait to see Barcelona lift the Copa del Rey after a quite remarkable game. Terry Gibson, we've just caught our breath after Jules Kounde extra time winner and everything that happened in the end, with Real Madrid's fury at the referee at the full-time whistle. And now we wait for the trophy lift and medals. And the disappointment for Real Madrid in their season. You wonder the longer ramifications as well of this. Look at LAMINE YAMAL here. Sunglasses, blonde hair, 17, not a care in the world.
Yeah, I think he had 2 sets of sunglasses, not just that. One's not good enough when you're as good as LAMINE YAMAL. And it's 10 to 1 in the morning in Sevilla. Why 1 pair of glasses when you can wear 2 and you're wearing a crown, and his team are going to be lifting the cup.
That's right. And the referees, first of all, will collect their honorary medals for taking charge of the match. And of course, Ricardo de Burgos and Goicoechea would be at the centre of everything. After what happened in yesterday's press conference, his emotional outpouring around the fact that he and his family have felt the pressure from external forces around decisions made this season. And despite Real Madrid's fury, he shakes the hand here of Florentino Perez, the Real Madrid president. He gave that penalty right on full time for Barcelona, overturned it on VAR review. I can't really argue with too many of his decisions on the night.
No, and the Real Madrid made it a feature of the game, didn't they? They complained from the first minute to the last minute, and we saw that disgusting behaviour from Antonio Rudiger at the end. Yep, I don't think the referee got an awful lot wrong. I think it's debatable the penalty that was overturned by VAR. There was contact there. How much contact? It's a bit harsh that Raphinha got a yellow card for a dive. I don't think it was a dive. But I wouldn't want to manage a referee this match between these two teams. It's always like this. It's always frenetic. It's always chaotic. There's always controversy. And I think he handled it remarkably well.
There's talk that some players, other players might have been shown a red card on full time, but we haven't had any confirmation of that. It did get remarkably tense and fraught and angry on the touchline. There's the video assistant as well, Pablo González Fuertes, who was speaking at the press conference yesterday, as Vinicius Jr. congratulates those of Barcelona.
That's good to see from Vinicius, actually. He's a player that does get a lot of criticism, but he was out there congratulating the Barcelona players. Dani Carvajal likewise, who obviously wasn't involved in the game, nor ter Stegen. Rudiger is still on the scene, which I'm surprised at. If it was him that was showing the red card. As usual, one end of the stadium has been vacated. The other end, the winning team, was supporters are going to witness them lifting the cup.
And now perhaps intentionally honourable but slightly awkward guard of honour for the Real Madrid players here through the Barcelona group. But this is a real team that Hansi Flick has pulled together for sure. Round of applause for Carlo Ancelotti. Might be his final cup manager as well. Final as Real Madrid manager.
Going to be a tough few weeks. They're going to recover. Another El Clasico in a couple of weeks' time to decide the league title. It's the only thing left now for Real Madrid. It's been a tough month or so.
Yeah, we have that 4th Clasico of the season, the final one of the La Liga season, in just about 15 days' time, nearly 14 days' time. for UK viewers as we come up to midnight in the UK. 5-1 in the morning in Seville. And that will be on Premier Sports 1 from Barcelona, of course, as they won 4-0 at the Bernabeu earlier on in the campaign. Despite defeat tonight, and they still have La Liga in their sights, Real Madrid. Carlo Ancelotti, a manager with more titles than any other in Madrid history.
Yeah, 4 points the deficit at the moment, so important that they win their next game, which is at home to Celta Vigo. They've got to recover in time for that one, and then hope it's a maximum 4 points. Can't be any more when they play Barcelona. If they can win that, and then they're back in it. Barcelona do have some tricky fixtures to play in La Liga. Espanyol away, it's a derby. Villarreal at home, they're going for the Champions League. Athletic Club away on the last day of the season, so there'll be spills and thrills before the season ends.
Beaten for a third time by Barcelona this season. Do you think they'll head to Barcelona believing they can win that game still?
It will be tough mentally for Ancelotti to convince his players that in that game they're playing away from home. I am presuming that players have suffered injuries in this game tonight that might keep them out for a game or two in La Liga as well. Ferland Mondi, I have no doubt. And how is Kylian Mbappe going to be after? I watched him at half-time, he could barely move. He was really hobbling when he came on. That spirit and heart and determination, the adrenaline, got him through the second half period, pretty anonymous in the extra time period, but he'd give it his last shot tonight.
Luka Modric takes his medal, of course. His one-year deal coming to an end, the one that he received after Champions League glory last summer. Plenty of questions around this Real Madrid group. Will Xabi Alonso be the manager next season? Many of us wonder. But back to the here and now. And it is Barcelona's night. And they were in the first half as they took the lead through Pedri's goal. The better team for that first 45 minutes.
Yes, they were. And the game was transformed at half-time. The arrival of Kylian Mbappe, I thought it was going to take Real Madrid away from Barcelona. But again, like Real Madrid, plenty of heart, plenty of desire. They have tremendous belief because they're on a fantastic run of results in all competitions. And they have players with moments of magic. Pedri's goal was exceptional. Ferran Torres would have finished that one, and then an unlikely winner, goal scorer in Jules Kounde.
Hansi Flick, just the second Barcelona coach in history to win his first 3 Clásicos. Joan Laporta's appointment more than vindicated. Only Pep Guardiola had done it before. A man who's won a treble with Bayern Munich, and right now harbours the same ambition in the city of Barcelona. Wojciech Szczesny with his saves in the second half. Ferran Torres, the top scorer in the Copa del Rey. But he needed to dig into that bench, and they've done it tonight as well without Robert Lewandowski.
Yep, and we've seen him, he's going to be appearing soon. They'll be hoping he's fit for the return Clásico in a couple of weeks' time, but what a fine job Ferran Torres has done tonight and this season in general. He brings something different to Barcelona when it's Ferran Torres and it's not Lewandowski. Hansi Flick will be desperate to get the Polish superstar back fully fit again, hopefully within a couple of weeks from his point of view. Balde, will he be fit again this season? He was a miss tonight.
And it is a young group. This is something that Hansi Flick spoke about beforehand. We have a really young team, and this is a great experience for them, and finals are different. Kept saying his players had to enjoy it, and oh, well, Lamine Yamal's enjoying it, isn't he?
Yeah, you need sunglasses in Sevilla about 12 hours ago, but not this time of night, and certainly not 2 pairs, but he's having fun.
The treble is on. Is this part 1 of that potential success? La Liga and the Champions League still in Barcelona's sights. But for now, it is this glory, this success for the 32nd time. Barcelona are Copa del Rey winners. Ter Stegen and Araujo, the captain and vice-captain, have the huge trophy in their hands and will lift it aloft. Barcelona have won it. An extraordinary final in Seville. Terry Gibson, that lived up to it, didn't it? That Clasico Cup final.
Do you know what? I always expect so much, and it never fails. There is always, even if it's a 0-0 draw, something crazy will happen. You have some of the best players in the world playing in these two teams, and when they come together, such is that rivalry, it never disappoints. And it didn't tonight. 3-2, extra time, thought we're heading to penalties, but Barcelona won it at the death. And it's been a fantastic spectacle, and everything I expected and more.
Recently returning captain Marc-Andre Ter Stegen, Ronald Araujo, the vice, skipping down the steps together to celebrate with their teammates. But they'll have to focus because the Champions League's on the horizon next. Inter Milan away. For now, they can enjoy this in Seville. Thank you so much for your company on Premier Sports this evening. It lived up to the hype and more. The leaders with their teammates. Glory for Barcelona once again in the Copa del Rey. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks for the next Clasico in La Liga on Premier Sports.